Hi. In this lecture, we are going to see about another concept called data lake. Data lake. So, what do you mean by a data lake? We have seen that there is a database management system. Then each of the departments will have a database management system. So there is a central warehouse required, which is called a data warehouse, which pulls data from each of the departments internally as well as externally and put them together and make it scalable, reliable and secure. And we use business intelligence tools. That is where we use mathematical and statistical techniques to analyze the data, to aggregate the data, to see if there are any patterns. All these things can be done by business intelligence activity. The next level of business intelligence activity is called data mining. So data mining scripts will be running for a long time to capture the patterns and help the business leaders to solve their business problems. That will tell you how the future trend is going to be. For a particular set of products, over a period of some three quarters, if the sales is going down, it is indicating something. You can compare it with some other number and ascertain your hypothesis. So those type of activities are done in data mining. Now we are talking about a data lake. So far we were talking only about the structured data, relational databases where data can be represented in the form of a table. Employee number, name of the employee, date of birth, his basic salary, what are the allowances, what is his educational qualification. So this is in the form of a table. What is the patient ID? What is the blood pressure? What is the sugar level? What is the height? What is the body mass index? What is the white blood cell count? What is RBC? So this is a tabular form. They are called structured data. Whereas people have found that because of the growth of IT, because of the growth of low-cost storage devices, low-cost electronic devices, because of all these things, the volume of data is growing, but some of them are structured data and many of them are unstructured data. Lot of data are coming in the form of pictures, videos, audio files. They are all data. So the data science field got extended with including unstructured data. Let us see what is a data lake. What is structured and unstructured data? Look at it. So structured data will have a tabular form. So there are rows and columns. So each row represents a patient. For the patient number 1, what is the patient ID? What is his height? What is the weight? What is the body mass index? What is the blood cell, white blood cell count? What is the RBC count? What is the blood pressure level? What is the glucose? So That is how for one patient horizontally. When you come to the next patient, same thing, same structure is maintained for each of the patient. If you look at column wise, the first column always represents the same attribute for different patients. Same way, second, third. Whereas in the case of unstructured data, it's not there. It's not there. So today we are handling structured as well as unstructured data. From the unstructured data, how do we want to capture meaningful results and make corrections to our business processes? So what is the difference between structured and unstructured data? We need to compare them. Look at it. Structured data can be displayed in rows and columns and relational databases. That is called structured data, whereas unstructured data are data that cannot be represented as rows and columns. Normally, the structured data are numbers, dates, and strings. So in the case of structured data, each column may be a number, may be a string, or it may be a date object, and so on. Whereas in the case of unstructured data, we get images, pictures. Among pictures, we also get black and white images, color images, audio files of various formats, video files, Word files, some Word document, some Excel sheet, some PowerPoint slide, some emails. So all these things form unstructured data. It has been estimated that though the IT industry is working with enormous amount of data for a long time, Gartner in a report says that 20% of the enterprise data, the data coming from the companies, are structured and 80% of them are unstructured. If it is a structured data, there are effective mechanisms to store them in less storage. Whereas unstructured data requires more storage because they are not in a structured form. Similarly, if they are structured data, it is easier to manage and protect with legacy solutions. We have legacy solutions like RDBMS concepts and database management systems which implement RDBMS, which have very effective tools for easily managing them. Inserting a record at a particular place, deleting a record, all these things can be easily done. Whereas if you want to manage the unstructured data, it's more difficult to manage with the legacy solutions. You require specialized treatment for unstructured data. So that is the comparison between structured and unstructured data. There are 5 points. Point number 1, it can be displayed as in rows and columns, whereas unstructured data cannot be done. Structured data always have numbers, dates, and strings, whereas unstructured data will have images, audio, video, Word file, anything. 20% is structured data, 80% is unstructured data. Storage will be less for structured data, storage will be more for unstructured data. management is very easy with legacy applications, legacy technologies, and legacy solutions, whereas that is more difficult with the unstructured data. So structured data is only 20% and unstructured data is 80%. So if you consider your CRM solution or your sales customer relationship management solution or your sales management solution or your finance solutions, all the solutions are structured solutions which form only 20%, whereas your customer transactions in the form of an email, chat, notes, social media posts, some call center data where people are scolding and we are recording that, all these things form unstructured data. So all of them put together must be processed and we have to come out with solutions. That is what is called data lake. So data lake will include unstructured data and structured data. And also there are certain things called semi-structured data, an XML file, EDI, RDF, log, CSV files, JSON files. So a system which will manage all of them is a data lake. Now let us formally define what is a data lake. A data lake is a highly scalable data storage area to store a large amount of raw data in its original form. So it can store all types of data, no fixed limitation, no fixed limitations. So the data comes from disparate sources and can be structured, semi-structured, or can be unstructured. Data lake data can be queried as needed. Yes, it is possible to query. End users of the data lakes are data scientists and data engineers. So, apart from the database admin, DBA, and the data engineers, today we are having data scientists and data engineers. So, they work on structured as well as unstructured data. So, this is the definition of a data lake. So, data lake includes structured as well as unstructured data. So, data lake architecture has a module for collecting the data, ingesting the data, and then blending the data. Then transformational process has to be done, and then the data will be published in the data lake. So how does the data arrive the data lake? So it's a data lake. So we collect the data, we ingest, we blend, we transform and publish it in the data lake. When it is published in the data lake, there is a distribution module, and the distribution module can be used to get whatever data you want. So this is the high level architecture of a data lake. For example, so here are some popular data lake tools. For example, in Amazon, we have Amazon S3. In Azure, Microsoft, they have Azure Data Lake. AWS data lake formation, Infar, Qbol. So these are all some data lake tools used in the industry. Okay, in this lecture we have seen the difference between structured data and unstructured data. We have seen only 20% of the enterprise data are structured, whereas 80% of the data are completely unstructured. They are in the form of images, audio files, they are tweets from the social media. So all these things also form the data. That is why we want a technology for managing both structured and unstructured data. So that is how data lake comes into existence. And in a data lake, it is a highly scalable system for managing large volume of structured and unstructured data. So we have the data lake processes of collecting the data, ingestion of the data, then cleaning the data, transforming the data, and then you publish. So when it is published, we have some structure to retrieve the data and use it for our purposes. So we do some indexing and store them. Though it is unstructured, we get results from them. So that is called data lake, and we have seen a few data lakes as tools as well. Thank you very much.